Okay, so one of the most common issues we come across are badly set up turntables and tone arms. So I thought I'll give you a really quick guide onto how to do that properly, because it's something we quite often get asked about. Now, the most important thing is levelling the decks and placing them on a solid turntable surface. I can't go into too much detail about that, but you want to make sure it's completely vibration free. You want to be thinking about it being solid, so we tend to put concrete blocks under the decks themselves, and we even go to the levels of putting squash balls under those to further isolate the surface that the decks are sitting on, on the concrete slabs. And we also fit our decks in all instances with Isono or Isono-A feet, which are available from us, they were specifically designed for fabric initially, and they're a fantastic product which completely enhances the sound of your turntables, and yeah, we highly recommend them. If we start then, this tone arm's actually set up correctly, so we'll just make that pretty. Okay, so this could walked into a venue and whoever was playing before has just been messing with that, possibly resting their CDs on it, as people do. So yeah, where we want to start is first the height of the tone arm. So if I put this record on, which is blank, doesn't have any grooves, which is quite handy for setting up decks, put the needle in the centre of the record. I want to be looking from the side here to make sure that this tone arm is sitting completely level with the record when I'm adjusting this height. So if I'm looking in from the side, I'm adjusting that round now, and it's brought it level. These particular carts, also for nightclubs, about 1.5 works well. So take that back off. We lock the height there. Pretty regularly I come across decks that little lever there is in the unlocked position, and straight away you're going to get all sorts of feedback issues. Anyway, next step is to balance the tone arm. So if I leave it over the record again, I'm just going to wind the counterweight backwards until the arm is floating just above the record, horizontally, again, like so. This little gauge here is setting the 0 point for that weight, just like your scales in the kitchen. So I'll set that to 0, which means there's no weight being applied to the needle at the end. Then you want to follow the instructions for your specific carts. In this case, go for about 2.5. I'm only using these at home, they don't get much abuse. 2.5 grams of pressure is good. It's not going to wear your records, and it's not going to jump when you're back queuing or whatever. So that is the tone arm balanced. Final thing is anti-skating. Now what anti-skating does is probably best if I show you. So if I spin this, remember this record's blank, you'll see the needle is immediately pulled to the centre. That's due to the centrifugal force of the spinning record. So obviously you want to counter that, because if that's always getting pulled there, you're going to end up with an unbalanced sound, and it's also going to wear one side of the record groove faster than the other. So if I put that there again and just set the anti-skating, let's say to 2, you normally want to balance your counterweight setting with the anti-skating. So in theory 2 should be pretty much right, 2.5. Let's go 2.5. If I start the record this time, what you see happens is that is completely countered. If I take that to 0, straight away it will move to the middle. There you go, stop that. So if I set that back to around 2.5, this will now sit in the centre of the record. So it's a compromise, because it's still going to pull a little bit. It's still going to pull a little bit. but it's pretty solid. Now that's essentially a completely balanced and well set up tonearm. Mark 5Gs have this kind of additional anti-skate control, which if I wind that on, you'll now see that no matter where I put the needle, it's completely balanced, which is one of the good things about the Mark 5Gs and one of the things that we like. They just got that extra level of stability in their tonearms. So, final thing to do is put a record on. Make sure we've got a good left and right balanced output, which I can see and I can hear is all good. And that's about it, really. Only other thing I'll mention is another one of our kind of go-to things. This is Nightclub E. I use it at home. It's got quite a warm sound to it, which is quite nice. But when we are at gigs, we always use the Shure M447. One of the most solid cartridges there is, and yeah, and they've got a nice sound on the PA system. So if you're a DJ and you don't own a pair of these, I'd suggest going and buy some. Cool, and that's about it from me. See you soon.